When you see Dhamma, you see me. So who's the Buddha? Consider from the very beginning, who's that person? The enlightened one. What does it mean? If we don't know the truth, if we don't know him at all, if there's no understanding of what is there now, as he taught, we cannot know Buddha. What's the Buddha mean? The enlightened one. Enlightened what? That's why there should be careful study of each word, which talk about this very moment, the truth of what is there as it is. And when we use the word panya, it's not just the word, it's the understanding. And the understanding has so many degrees. The one that is just the intellectual understanding about what's Buddha or who's Buddha and so on. But as long as there's no understanding or realization of the truth, who knows, who have confidence of what is meant by the enlightened one, when the reality is not known as enlightened, the truth yet. That's why who's the Buddha? See, why do we listen to what he taught? About what? About that which is now appearing, but there's no understanding of the truth. That's why even just one word should be carefully studied to understand whether it's true or not. He didn't say that believe me, but he taught about the truth of what is there. And the development of right understanding doesn't mean that I develop it, but the understanding develops gradually from understanding the truth of each word, like the word enlightened. What does it mean? Not just say or think about it's that which experience an object, the nama, and that which is rupa cannot experience anything. It's not the truth at that very moment. It's only the word about the truth. That's why the development of right understanding is not remembering the word, but to understand what is meant of that word. And so, is his word subtle or very easy to get, to be someone who develops? Or actually, each word should be carefully studied to really understand the subtlety of the truth of this very moment. So what appears to ignorance is not just when it appears to right understanding at all. And when we think, I see, naturally, very common daily life, is that right or is it true? When there's no understanding, it's me for sure, no one, no other person. But when there's understanding, no one can make it rise and it falls away. It can be considered, is it true or not? Whether at moment of seeing, there's no hearing, there's no thinking. Is that true? They cannot arise together because they are different moment, different reality. One just arises to see, and the other study the truth. What is that which sees? No one can tell anyone, only the enlightened one who had enlightened the truth and talk about the truth of it. And in Tipitaka it says that Buddha himself, after his enlightenment, he said, all dhammas are so very subtle. So what is the subtlety of this moment of seeing? And that which appears so very subtle. So it's not just I develop understanding, but all dhammas, what is meant by dhamma, whatever is real, it has its characteristic to be known as it is, as different ones. Seeing is not hearing, it's not thinking, it's not liking. See, in a day, from life to life, it's there, unknown all the time, until the word of the enlightened one just talk about the truth of it, to be studied carefully of each word, which conforms with the other words, all of his teaching. From moment of understanding, little by little, it develops the truth to know what is meant by enlightenment. Who see Dhamma, see me. That's true. Even hearing that Dhammas and self is that knowing him, because he taught so much about everything to be understood little by little. That is the moment of bhavana, the development of right understanding itself, because there must be firm confidence of each word. Dhamma, what is it? A reality. What does it mean? When it's not real, it cannot be that appearing. But what appears now is so true because it's there, but no understanding of it. So there can be the understanding of the difference between ignorant and right understanding. To be known by right understanding, whether is there any understanding of seeing? If not, what is that? Not understanding is avijja or moha. But at moment of hearing and beginning to study, to begin to understand what is there, as it is, no one, because seeing sees. So how can there be anyone there at moment of seeing? Seeing arises. Who can make it arise? Impossible. So whatever is real is anatta. No one can control. It's not with anyone at all. Actually, it's conditioned to arise, just to arise, then gone. That's the way to understand conditions for whatever arises. So many conditions to condition the arising, the arising. After it has arisen, it falls away instantly. Can anyone change it, make it last or long? No one at all. That's why understanding what is there in life, it has to be like this. Whatever arises falls away by conditions arising to be such and such. Only once in samsara, never to return at all. So what is the point of listening to the words of what we call Buddha? To understand what is there, because he has enlightened the truth. So he thought about the truth, the absolute truth, ultimate truth of that which cannot be changed at all. And what he said, all dhammas are anatta, and all sankhara are anicca, dukkha, anatta. Only these words should be studied carefully. What is dhamma and what arises and falls away? See, to understand what is there in life is sankhara dhamma, conditioned to arise and then fall away, and they are all dhamma. Whatever arises, no matter what, it's real. No one can change it. It's not real, impossible. Because it's so true when it's there, when it's experiences, and when it is experienced. So there are satya and atabarami to really understand the truth, little by little, that the truth cannot be changed. And the truth is that Dhamma is Dhamma. It cannot be anyone at all. Otherwise, no matter we hear about anything and not understanding the truth of Dhamma yet, there must be the idea of self, understanding this, understanding more, and so on. But in truth, what about the Buddha said, all Dhammas are anatta. His word cannot be changed because he enlightened the absolute, the ultimate truth of no matter what. His word cannot be changed like the other who just think about the truth, but it's the realization of the truth. So the word from who has enlightened, it cannot be changed at all. But each word should be more and more firmly understood as it is, no one there at all. Otherwise, just hearing it. But what about this moment of seeing? To be truthful, what is seen? As long as it appears as things, it's not the moment of understanding or penetrate the truth of it, but that actually there's no one, no thing. Otherwise, it's useless to listen to the teaching as long as it's still I, no matter when, or it belongs to me, or it's something. That's not the word of the Buddha. That's what he said. Who knows Dhamma, who sees Dhamma, sees me. Because he's the enlightened, the truth of what is there as it is, which is so subtle that he said after his enlightenment, all dhammas are subtle. So if you don't forget that, how subtle this moment is, and how subtle the object which is seen is, not easy to penetrate the truth of that which arises and falls away all the time. So can it be known right now, or when it develops enough? From hearing, considering, understanding, by conditions, not by me who do this and that and think that I understand this and that. Because it's not the understanding of this very moment. When it's the understanding, it can understand this moment and other moment. Because what is there now is conditioned. What is there later is conditioned too. This moment arises and falls away. The other moment is exactly the same. So that can be the development of right understanding, to have more confidence of the truth until what is there shows up as it is. To right understanding, not to what is there. What is there? That is not right understanding, or the idea that I have learned that is such. But what is now? What is the understanding of that which appears? As anyone who sees the Dhamma sees me.